It's no surprise that Prince was a fan of Jane Child. After a bidding war between 14 labels in which she demanded complete creative control, this Toronto-based artist wrote, produced, and performed every note of her debut album. Her funky pop single Don't Wanna Fall in Love skyrocketed to number 2 on the Billboard Charts in 1990, opening the door of endless possibility for this Canadian badass with an unforgettable look. So why are we discussing her on One Hit Thunder? We asked ourselves the same thing. Stay tuned to find out.
One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever.
And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
Matt, I'm pretty excited about this one because today we are talking about a true artist in every sense of the word.
Dude, like, here's what I'll say out the gate. I did not know this song until you introduced it to me, which seems crazy because now
you can
I've heard,
thank me. You can thank me.
I was
going to
say I love this song.
Yeah,
this song's great. Doing research on Jane Child, I'm like, this girl rules. She's a badass. I mean, there's nothing else that you can say about it, but her career takes a real weird turn real early.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's start with the very obvious thing that she probably wouldn't want us to start with. Sorry, Jane, if you're listening, we got to talk about the look. The look was very notable. And hey, I'm not knocking the look because having a memorable image, I mean, if that's what opens the door to people to be like, whoa, look at her. And then they check out the music. Hey, I mean, she had to be thinking about that a little bit, right?
At least a little bit. There's no way that wasn't at least a little bit in her mind.
I've never seen a look like hers. For anyone that's listening that you don't know Jane Child's look at the time of the song, Don't Want to Fall in Love, she has braids down to her ankles, I would say, and then on top and spiked on top, but it's kind of like spiked braids.
Yeah, it's
on
hard
top.
to explain.
It's really hard to explain. And then she, of course, has which I always think about, was it in like Wayne's World or something where someone had the chain that goes from your nose to your ear and someone yanked it? There's like a movie where I remember someone yanked the chain, somebody's chain.
God,
it may have been like a Wayne's World movie.
Maybe.
But she has like a double chain from her nose to her ear, which, I think that's cool. And this was in 1987. She, not that people didn't have wild looks in all eras, but hers especially stood out. And regardless of the look, this song, man, it still now, I've listened to it so many times today. Matt is at my house recording episodes, and he left to go on a Sheets run. And when he came back, he heard this song pumping through the house. And it sounds so good. Everything about this song sounds so good. And what is so cool about that is that she wrote and produced every note of it.
So I want to talk about a little bit of how we got there.
Okay.
Right. So the early years of Jane Child, right? She was taught piano by her parents, and both of them were working musicians. And she had learned how to play piano and sing by the time she was in kindergarten. The first album she ever owned was the Beatles' Rubber Soul that her dad bought for her so that he could teach her how to write the arrangement for the song Michelle on that album. And she was exposed to funk music when her family would celebrate Christmas in Fort Lauderdale. And she would hear local bands playing it on the beach.
I was going to say, I didn't know that Fort Lauderdale had such a funk scene.
Yeah, apparently they got a funk scene. At 12, she joined the Canadian Opera Company Children's Chorus, but dropped out at 15 because she applied for a summer job as a keyboardist and in a Deadhead tribute band,
right?
And started doing that instead, right? She plays piano for like ballet classes at like piano bars, but most importantly, she's hired to play piano on commercial jingles. While she's doing that, she takes the time in the studio to just record and produce her own music, playing every single instrument. And it was those recordings that got her in a bidding war. And you told me this, between 13 different labels.
Yeah.
And the reason she signed with Warner Brothers was that they were the only one who agreed to let her do everything by her own terms.
Yeah.
Which meant being her producer, all of it. She handled all of it.
Yep.
The album comes out in 1989, fully written, produced, and performed by her, excluding some of the guitar parts. But everything else is all Jane Child.
What a badass. To know from that, like, when you're young, you're so, I feel like you can be so influenced to follow the path that's being suggested by the big record labels, the people with the money, the suits. And she just did her own thing in every way and made this song that sounds incredible. I can't stress that enough, how, yes, there's this funk, like the low end of this is so funky, yet it's so catchy and so poppy. It's like, it's pretty much a perfect song in every way. Every moment of this song is catchy. Every moment of this song makes me want to dance. It moves me. You and I sat here and watched a reaction video where the guy was just from the first second, the look on, you could just tell the look on his face was like, ooh, and then once the bass kicks in and the synths, and it's just the low end in this song sounds so good. And oh, I love the melodies. I love the message. She don't want to fall in love.
No.
It's such, that in itself, take the music aside, that feeling of, hey, maybe you are falling in love, but you don't want to, because you're going to have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to put your heart on the line. It's such a good message for someone who is so headstrong, in themselves already. Like, she didn't want a label to tell her what to do. She didn't want a romantic partner to hold her heart hostage or to tell her what to do. Every step of the way, I think she's just such a good role model, like if you're, especially for a young woman, such a amazing artist. Prince was a fan. If Prince is a fan of you, that's saying a lot.
That is. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is you said something to me when you first played me this song, and you're like, I can't believe you don't know this song. And I said, well, is this something I'd hear in a grocery store? And you said, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then today I'm listening to the song and I was like, you know what? You're right. I probably definitely have heard this song and just subconsciously didn't clock it, because this song catches like it is in its own world. And I'm not saying it sounds like any of these songs, but like when I'm hearing that chorus, I like, don't want to fall in love. Like,
baby.
I'm imagining like watching a late night commercial where it's like, the hits of the 80s or whatever. And it's like, just sandwiched right in there between like, give me a higher love and like, tell it to my heart. Like, it's just in that grocery store mega mix.
Yeah. It absolutely is.
But this song ruled. The guy said it in the video, but it's worth repeating here as well. The only thing that kept this from being a number one hit was that Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You was just blockading it. Not unlike our every 50 episode rankings, where Sinead O'Connor, it's just a force to be reckoned with.
It is.
But here's the big question. Sinead may have kept Jane from the top spot, but we're getting pretty close to where we have to rank this year's songs. Could Jane take down Sinead?
It's crazy that Jane might get her second chance. I didn't even think about that, because this song is so good. What a moment for strong women with iconic looks. Like it's amazing. What year? Actually, I didn't even.
This is 1990.
90. Okay, this isn't even eight. This is she probably recorded it late 80s, but this is 90.
Yeah, the album came out in 89. Single came out in 1990. This is how early this came out in 1990, though, Chris. So if you go to Jane Child's Wikipedia page, at the very bottom, there's like the reference things like, oh, you might also want to check out this page or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So for her, when you go in, it's for the Don't Want to Fall in Love page. When you go in there, under also see is list of 90s one-hit wonders. And it's listed in order of when the song was released as a one-hit wonder, Jane Child is the number one song. Like, Jane Child is the very first one-hit wonder of the 1990s.
Wow.
Followed by Sinead O'Connor, who we've already done.
Right.
Here, let's go through all the ones that were in 1990. Let's see how many of the first ones of the year we've checked off. Jane Child, Don't Want to Fall in Love, done. Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You, done. Mellow Man Ace, we haven't gotten to that one yet.
Okay, I don't even know that one.
Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, been there, done that.
Yep.
Electronic, Getting Away with It,
Don't know that
don't
one.
know that one. The Lightning Seeds, Pure,
Don't know that one.
Candyman, Knockin' Boots.
Oh, I'm thinking of H-Town had a song called Knockin' to Boots, but I don't think I know this one.
I don't think I know that one. D-Light, Groove is in the Heart, which we almost did, and then COVID stopped that episode from happening.
Wow.
EMF, Unbelievable.
Oh!
You know we did that one. Gerardo,
No.
Rico Suave,
Yep.
and DNA, Tom's Diner.
I don't know if I know that one.
I mean, I'm assuming it's a cover of the Tom's Diner that we all know.
Yeah. Okay.
But there we go. We're halfway through covering every one-hit wonder from 1990.
Yeah, apparently. So, as far as this Jane Child song goes, this song's amazing. I mean, once it hits the bridge of the song and it has that rising part,
Yes.
you know, it's like, oh my God, is it ever going to stop going? Is the intensity ever going to stop going up? It's absolutely incredible. You and I watched her perform it. It had to be years later.
Oh, I mean, because Wayne Brady didn't pop off until the late 90s on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Okay. But Jane Child was on the Wayne Brady show, and she played it with a full band, but she was playing it on grand piano, and Wayne Brady was singing it with her.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing performance. She's great. She's so good. And she had a second single. I think maybe it was it the first single released from the album before Don't Want to Fall in Love, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome to Something. I'm blanking on the name. Sorry, I was looking up Wayne Brady. So the Wayne Brady show was from August 2021 to March of 2022.
Oh, wait, what?
Oh, sorry. 2001 to 2002.
Okay.
So yeah, we're talking about 10, 11
Decade.
years after the song. She's up there rocking some giant ass platform shoes while she's playing the piano, which looked great.
She didn't have the spike on top, and she didn't have the chain from her nose to her ear anymore, but she did still have very long hair.
Very, very long hair. Yeah. But the other single that she put out before this one was Welcome to the Real World.
Yeah, which that song's cool. It's very much in the vein of Don't Want to Fall in Love, just not as memorable.
No.
You know, definitely Don't Want to Fall in Love is the standout track. But I love the style on that album. It is Prince influenced. You know, I think that's what I like about it is just, look, it's one of my favorite things about music. And it's where it's honestly probably why I can't get into a lot of folk music is because I love that low end, man.
You do
I
love the
love
low
that
end.
kick. Obviously, I'm a bassist. I love when it's like a thick bass that you can really, I don't know, sink your teeth into, I guess.
I didn't want to say sink your teeth into it,
Yeah.
but yes, that is exactly what it is.
Right. I took that from the Punchline podcast.
Yeah.
The sink your teeth. But it's true. It's like you can, if you're listening to this song in your car, you can feel that bass and it moves you. It moves me, I should say. You know, that groove of that song moves me. The melody, I love her voice. I love the melodies. I love the message of the song.
It's passionate as hell.
Yeah.
She's you can tell she's feeling it when she's singing.
Believe it or not, the holidays are right around the corner, and HelloFresh can help take the stress out of dinner by delivering everything you need to cook up tasty meals right to your door, saving you tons of time. That's right, the most wonderful time of the year is also the most delicious. Enjoy every bite of the holiday season with HelloFresh. You choose from over 45 weekly recipes and over 100 curated picks from HelloFresh Market. In my personal experience with HelloFresh, not only do I enjoy the amazing meals once they're done, I also enjoy the making of the dinner with people I love. And isn't that what this season is all about? My girlfriend and I recently made the Parmesan herb-crusted salmon with garlic mashed potatoes, asparagus, and creamy mustard sauce. We put on some music and split up the stuff that we had to do. Not only was it fun, but the food was incredible. And plus, it saved us a bunch of money that we would have spent on takeout that night. So if you're ready to get the farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep, go to hellofresh.com/onehitfree and use the code ONEHITFREE for free breakfast for life. That's right, you'll get one breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at hellofresh.com/onehitfree with the code ONEHITFREE. You can't beat the food or the deals with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Hey, this is Mike Wiebe, and I'm the singer in a band called the Riverboat Gamblers.
And I'm Zach Blair. I play guitar in a band called Rise Against. Mike and I also have a band called the Draculas, and we also have this great, amazing new podcast called Zach and Mike Make 3.
Yeah, each week we're going to ask ourselves and we're going to ask our guests what 3 favorite things they are into at that moment or in their entire lives. And then we're either going to agree with them or we're going to make fun of them. And you're going to listen to it and you're going to like it, or we will make fun of you. How about that? I just flipped it on you, the person listening to this right now. But we're going to do it every week here on the Sound Talent Network. Once again, it's called Zach and Mike Make 3.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
And Maggie.
and we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
Watch the music video for this. Watch how you know what? I want to show this music video to my band and be like, this is a cool music video, because it's, it's a lot of B-roll footage of her like walking around the city looking cool as hell, but it's also a lot of stuff of her in the studio recording, like,
And showing off that she's playing
Yes.
everything on this recording.
yeah, it's so badass. It is so good. And I don't know, man. I feel like I'm really rain and praise on her right now before we go the other way. We are going to go the other way here soon.
So I'm sure that you're sitting here and you're thinking, all right, we've got this super talented artist, was literally looked at as the female Prince. What could have gone wrong? And I
Well-
think that part of it is that, again, this single peaked in 1990, which meant that we were just a year and some change away from Nevermind dropping and the musical landscape shifting. And Jane Child tried to keep up,
Yes. Well, one thing I do want
but
to
maybe
note,
she shouldn't have.
yeah. Yeah. I think she should have maybe just stuck to what she did best. I mean, this is my opinion, and she's an artist, and obviously she's going to do what she wants. But, we watched an interview with her from Much Music. She's from Toronto, so Much Music being I don't know, would you say it's the MTV of?
It's a Canadian. I always heard of Much Music, but what made me very recently realize, yes, they are definitely the Canadian MTV, is doing the Weird Al podcast. I found out that for 3 years he would produce Al TV for MTV and a separate show called Much Al.
Wow.
For them.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, they must have, just by that alone, they must have been
Right.
the Canadian equivalent of MTV.
Yeah, but we watched an interview with her where she was like, I refuse to lip sync on shows. And she's like, and I told that they wanted me to lip sync on Top of the Pops and I wouldn't do it. And it probably cost me a lot of sales in England.
Yeah.
And so that could be a little bit of it. I mean, I respect that. That's the weirdest thing in the world, to ask a true artist to go up and pretend to play. But I mean, everybody did it. I didn't even Queen did it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that crazy that great artists would do that on that show, but she was like, nope, I'm not doing that. And once again, I think that's badass.
Yeah.
And would that extra boost in England have helped her maybe have another hit, or maybe extended her career a little bit? I don't know if that one thing is going to make or break, but I know Top of the Pops was a huge thing. So I thought that was noteworthy. Now we're talking 2 or 3 years later, as you brought up, Matt, here comes grunge, here comes Nirvana, here comes this new sound. And Jane Child tried to, I don't know, swerve into that lane.
Yeah, the way that it was described on Wikipedia was that she edged herself away from her normal style and tried to mix New Jack Swing rhythms with hard rock elements. And I could see that in the two songs that we dipped our toe in, that it was like, it was this darker, like, you know, I'm not saying that she's up there like doing a Nirvana cover or whatever, but the dreary darkness that grunge brought into the musical landscape, she was aiming for a little bit more.
Yeah, Here Not There was the name of the album. The title track she made a music video for. It was definitely unlike anything I've heard. That's the positive thing I'll say about it. The negative thing to the few songs that we'll listen to is, yes, whereas this Don't Want to Fall in Love makes you feel good. Like, it really lifts your spirits, makes you feel good, makes you want to dance. And those songs really kind of brought me down.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it kind of more put me in a weird mood, you know, and that's not what I would personally go to Jane Child for.
So that first song that we listened to, Mona Lisa Smile, this is insane, was actually written a year prior for the movie Free Jack.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this movie?
No.
Never. I feel like I've heard a reference to it. I never looked into what it was. It's a science fiction film starring Emilio Estevez, Anthony Hopkins, and Mick Jagger. And the premise is, in the year 2009, the super wealthy achieve immortality by hiring bone jackers, mercenaries equipped with time travel devices that snatch people from the past just prior to their moment of death for use as a substitute body. Those who escape, however, are known as free jacks and are considered less than human under the law. In this dystopian future, most people suffer from poor physical health as a result of the rampant drug use and environmental pollution, making them unattractive as replacement bodies.
Wow. Bone jackers? That sounds like that I Think You Should Leave sketch where, you know, the one where the the bonies come.
Yeah. Dude, and it did bad. It wasn't well reviewed. In fact, on The Late Show with David Letterman, when Anthony Hopkins came on to promote the movie, just said the film is terrible.
Wow. Bone jackers. Yeah, I could see that. I still think Don't Want to Fall in Love would have been better for the soundtrack. Maybe if she had, you know.
Well, no one wants to fall in love with a bone jacker, for starters.
Definitely not. So that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, and then it was after she released that album that was dark and nothing like Don't Want to Fall in Love that she got dropped, right?
She got dropped from the label and then disappeared, essentially. It wasn't like she recorded a couple one-off songs, but she did not put out her third album until over a decade later, and it was only because she created her own label, Sugar Wave, to put it out. And that's still the last thing that she put out, but there is an interesting tie to Jane Child and a past guest or past topic on our show, because in 1990 she was nominated for the MTV Best New Artist Award, but she did lose to someone that we also covered on this show. Do you remember who that was?
1990 Best New Artist. Geez. No, I don't remember.
What if I was Romeo in Black
Michael
Jeans?
Penn.
Yeah, Michael Penn beat her out for the Best New Artist at the MTV Video Music Awards.
Michael Penn also amazing.
Yeah.
Like, these are like true artists. These are like, you know, the band's band version of solo artists. Like, these people are incredible talents. Dude, when I watch Don't Want to Fall in Love and everything about her, you know, being a producer, a songwriter, an amazing singer, an amazing musician, having a unforgettable look, having a badass attitude, being such a true artist, I think it's like a real shame that it seems like had she maybe played the game like 20% more or something, or stuck to that style of music in the face of the changing trend of the time or something, that she could have been like an artist been a household name artist for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have been the next Prince.
Yeah, she could have been. I mean, here's what I'll say, and this is a huge compliment, because I don't say this about a lot of the artists that we cover on this show. If you just put this song on a loop while we were like doing something else in the house,
Which I did today.
yeah, I don't think I'd get sick of it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this song's great. Do you want to know what the last things were that she did career-wise? Because it's been pretty stagnant, but this is interesting.
Sure.
She appeared on a tribute album called What's Love, a tribute to Tina Turner.
Nice.
What song do you think she covered for Tina Turner?
Oh, is it a big one?
Sorta. It's a movie soundtrack song.
Oh, did she do I Don't Want to Fight?
She did We Don't Need Another Hero Thunderdome from the Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome song.
It makes sense that she would do a
Yeah.
Thunderdome song, yeah.
But then her most recent contribution is that she provides the vocals to the cover songs for the Just Dance franchise.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which,
So,
you know what? I bet that actually pays a pretty penny.
I'm sure that's a good paycheck. It's
Yeah.
not what I would have expected her to be doing. You know, I would have, she's such an artist that
You'd want more for sure.
yeah, I would think, but I mean, whatever. If I were her, I would do it and make that money too. Invest that money back into yourself. Yeah, I why not? But I'm just surprised that someone this good isn't doing more, and I don't mean it's not a slight against her. I don't know what she has going on in her life.
Yeah,
Maybe she's
Jane,
busy.
if you're listening, we still love you.
Yeah. If you're busy doing other things, that's none of my business. I'm just saying you're awesome. That's all I'm saying.
Your Wayne Brady performance, phenomenal.
Yeah. Hey, Wayne sounded pretty good too, I got to say.
He did sound pretty good, but man, she was crushing it. Was loving it.
Absolutely. I love that she was playing I didn't expect her to be sitting at a grand piano playing this funk song. You know, I didn't expect that. I would have maybe thought she was just singing, or maybe, an instrument. I wouldn't have been surprised if she had a synth in front of her, but to see her sitting down at a full grand piano, I just thought that was awesome. You got to check that out for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a top-notch performance. But I mean, I guess we've hit that time.
I mean, geez. I usually say that I'm taking into consideration the whole catalog of the artist, but in this situation, as it is the situation, it's probably the situation it was with Sinead. This song is so good. Oh, dude, what about the fact that at this moment on the charts, number 2 was an artist that Prince loved, and number 1 was a song that Prince wrote.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
That's crazy.
That's pretty insane.
That's wild. I just think this song is so good that I got to give Jane Thunder. I couldn't dream of throwing anything but Thunder on Jane's name.
I think that it's very appropriate that she covered a song from Thunderdome, because I'm also going to throw Thunder. I think that the other songs that we heard off this first album were good.
Yeah, they're good.
I think this first album's good. And who knows? I would be willing on my own to sit down and listen to that second album and see, because there could be some cool elements, but it looked like even critically they were like, hey, I think it's really cool that she's trying something new. Mm-hmm. But like, I think the one critic said something along the lines of, the songs just don't fulfill or don't elaborate on the ideas that she was conceiving. Like, in the sense of like, where she was going with this seems like a cool idea, but the songs aren't there to back up like blending these two styles.
I mean, the crazy thing to me is that it was only a few years earlier that she released, her first album and established this sound, and so quickly ran away from that sound that she was really good at.
Yeah.
Like we needed more of that before she got into her experimental phase.
Yeah.
She wasn't ready for an experimental phase yet. We weren't ready for it. She wasn't ready
The
for
first album she owned was the Beatles' experimental phase. She was raised on experimental phase.
Well, she came out the gate with a just absolute pop gem.
Yeah.
So that wasn't, that's what I wanted. She took pop music to a place that was so, I don't know, it sounds original to me. I mean, maybe it's not original. Maybe it is. It's just perfecting a style that I don't know, that I really like.
I'm gonna get See you after.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Fafalios of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing Getting There is Getting By off the Punchline album Action. Be sure to check out punchline.com for any upcoming news on the band. Our podcast is on Patreon now. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus conversations, and a chance to vote on future songs for us to cover. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us in your favorite podcasting app, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
Time in here in time. I think I'm doing alright and kind of getting by. Everyone has changed. KON, are you A-okay? Was yesterday the best day of your life? Only beating out the day before that. Are you afraid of the world you created?
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Hey there, I am Johnny Christ from Avenged Sevenfold, and I've got a podcast called Drinks with Johnny you're going to want to check out. I sit down with a bunch of different people from all different walks of life, from professional wrestlers to actors, comedians, fighters, musicians, everything in between. I'm just looking to make some friends and have a good time doing it. So if that sounds like something you're into, go check out Drinks with Johnny, streaming everywhere now.
Hey, what's up? My name's Lurk, and I'm the host of Lamb Goat's Band Flip podcast. Every week, I have in-depth conversations with bands from all over the scene, big and small. We also like to keep our finger on the pulse and showcase up-and-coming bands on the show as well. So come check out Lamb Goat's Band Flip podcast.